We are live, everybody. Welcome to the Rapid Diffs Weekly. Today with Stanislav. Hit it up.
Hi everyone, I have an update regarding Pinia migration. So as of today, we have fully migrated our Diffs store. That includes Diffs store code and the specs. We also started nodes migration. I have it locally on my machine. We just need to get through reviews again. As I was working on the nodes migration, I discovered we also need to migrate budget comments store because nodes depends on this store as well. That's
That
unfortunate.
was my last contribution as an engineer. That store.
Nice. So I'll guess you'll test your
Spaghetti code.
spaghetti
Yes.
code. Budget comments, huh? All right. So I'll assign you to review this. Let's agree on this. Okay. Since since it would require us to basically migrate all of the components at once to use the new Pinia stores, I decided we need to develop a plan to make it iterable because reviewing migration for hundreds of components is not feasible. And I was thinking of introducing a state synchronization pattern. So basically each time we add a Pinia store to a Vue app, it will add a plugin that will look for changes in the Vuex store. It will then sync these changes to the Pinia store and vice versa. If Pinia store changes, it will sync the changes of the state to the Vuex store. And that way they will always have exactly the same state. I think that's the only way to make this migration possible to review, because otherwise this is basically a synchronous step. We don't have Phil or Thomas here, but I hope they watch this. If you have alternative ways to solve this, please share them in the new Diffs channel. But so far, I think that's the only way. And that's it for the Pinia migration.
Yeah, and it would be something that we could potentially also keep in mind and suggest to others when doing these sort of migrations to ease up the interdependence of stores and stuff like that. So
yes,
you can share the
also
lessons.
because of this, I have created free code modes to migrate actions, getters, and mutations. So what you need to do is basically run a single command or three commands for three different files. And it will try its best to migrate all the API stuff to Pinia, but it will not do complex stuff. So for example, if you have a dependency for another store in your actions, it will not do that. You'll have to manually replace it. But it will speed up like 95% of the job you're doing with migration.
Awesome. I'll forward this to the front ends, just in case they have thoughts on it. Cool. Well, Gavin, I wrote there the entry of yours. Do you want to add anything? No, just on flight, in flight. You're muted.
Patrick's been having me review, so thanks very much if he's watching. And yeah, I think we're getting close, so that should be okay. I'm also reviewing Stanislav your MR for the refactor of those rapid diff text files. So just going through that at the moment, if you're wondering where that review has been. It might be tomorrow morning before I get to finish it off. That's all right, and hope that's okay.
Sounds good. I looked at the streaming endpoints code. Like since I don't have a lot of expertise on the backend side, this looked fine.
That's that's good. Thank you. Thanks very much. Yeah. And feel free to assign yourself and have a review. Absolutely. I just need to with that refactor, I don't really have much context on the original. And more so I'm just spending a lot of time trying to get up to speed with that as well.
Yeah, refactoring is not a super priority because we have the actual code already merged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for that. I added an entry. I'm glad you two are here. So I've scheduled a call for this coming Thursday. The reason why I said that is because I specifically invited you too, but the call is open to anyone else. I just wanted to ensure that we had one perspective from back end, one perspective from front end to kind of take a step at this. So the idea is to go through the planned work that we couldn't have in the epics and, we'll be estimating weights on the issues that are already created and potentially fill in any gaps. Anything that we're not documented in issues yet, we'll open new issues, we'll add weights for those as well. With that, we'll be able to estimate sort of a timeline that we can produce to the product folks. And, we can devise certain strategies of like, how can we ensure that we get to that point faster or something. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure it will be completed, like finished within 1 hour. So we'll schedule further sessions if we need to. So yeah, if you're watching this is not just for the three of us. This is for everyone who wants to participate. That's just to ensure that we have at least three people to give the perspectives to kind of like get to the outcome. But anyone is welcome. Do either of you have any questions on that? Or we should prepare anything else? Does the time work for you? If you can check with your calendar while you're here. I had a previous time, but it was like landing right on top of Gavin's lunch. I'm like, let's just let him have food first.
Oh, what will I eat?
Okay, yeah. Does it work for you, Stanislav?
Yeah, it works for me.
Gavin?
Perfect. And don't worry about my lunch anyway, if that ever happens again.
That sounds, I had the free time anyway. Cool. Yeah, I think we could take 15 minutes to do that, but it's gonna be like stopping as we're starting, so might as well just wait for the whole hour. But yeah, I think I just talked to Kai, and he's definitely looking forward to that. That will help us like, have a more concrete plan on launching and rolling out.
I actually have something to say. I think we are still missing some issues for
Okay.
the features, right? And I
Okay.
suppose this is going to be focused on features.
Uh,
Yes or no?
I guess so. If based on features, not on pages, is that what you're saying?
Well, technically we have a page with commits and merge requests. It just
Sure.
doesn't contain anything past the diffs, right?
Yeah, what I'm saying is like there won't be like issues created for like let's see, add a comment to commits page, add a comment to merge request page. No, it'll be add comments.
I'm not sure because adding discussions to a Mars is very different from adding discussions to commits because these are very different systems right now.
So that is the question. Should it be different?
Yes.
Really?
To me right now, if we don't have certainty how the API will work on the commits, it seems like they should be separate issues. Because for the Mars, for me, it's straightforward. We just reuse the existing API. For the commits, I have no idea at the moment.
Okay, so that's an important thing for us to document, and I think eventually those uncertainties can be documented with an issue,
Yeah.
spike or whatever. But I don't. So here's where I'm coming from is we should. I understand that there's some things that we have to do specifically for each page, for each case, I guess. But we have to remember the full title of the project: reusable rapid diffs. The idea is that these chunk of code is reusable in many places. And I know we still have to have dedicated streaming endpoint and some other mechanisms that are specific to the page. But as much as possible, we should try to make, especially the front end, as the front end is producing like API calls, it should do it in a unified manner as much as possible. Then the comments are going to be migrated anyway, because right now it's old code base. So I think at that point, when we're doing the think we should look to maintain the API as close to the MRs as possible. If we need to update how we're doing, for example, the line hash and use a different identifier, we could. But I think that's the uncertainty that we're going to have to document in those issues.
Front-end code is definitely going to be reused. I cannot speak for the back-end code. I don't know how discussions are structured for the commits. Like, we have a storage for a diff file in the database, but we don't have one for the commits. So it might be different story for the commits, right?
Right, because that persisted and non-persisted. But then the point is how we call the API should be, if not exactly the same, pretty similar.
Yeah, the front-end part is definitely going to be reused.
But for example, here's yeah, that's the thing. We can't comment on compare revisions, I think. So
And you probably shouldn't.
and you probably shouldn't, yeah, of course. So that's a feature specifically for that. But I'm trying to see other features like expand lines, for example, that should be present on all diffs, right? That's one feature.
It's a feature that's going to be shared across all the diffs,
right?
And it works the same way everywhere.
Okay, so that's what I'm coming from. But there's definitely going to be some features that are a little different here and there. Like suggestions and stuff might be only existing in MRs. I don't remember the table from the top of my head, but
and
yeah,
recently, like, there is a discussion on the code review channel or create channel about submodules. So, for example, we don't show full previews of submodule. Maybe it's an interesting feature to add to Rapid Diffs as well.
We don't show what? A preview?
Yeah, if you have a commit that changes a submodule, we don't show the diff. We only show the commit hash, I think.
Okay.
Something like this.
That's gonna be fun.
And as far as I know, we don't show it in the Mars. Maybe. So there is still a little bit of unification.
So we might make a decision there. So I think we would only document an issue there because we might want to tackle first the refactoring of the rapid diffs, and new features can come, like new features, so to speak, could come later. If it's not present on any part yet, I don't think it fits the rapid diffs topic, but we can still handle it outside. And if we do it after the rapid diffs, then it just covers the whole thing. Yeah, we can take a look at that on Thursday just to make sure that we have all these things documented. And we'll have some ideas on how we can then simulate different timelines, depending if we go like we all focus on getting commits page first ready, or do we get the source code focus on the commits page? We get the code review focus on the merge request, and they all progress in. So we'll have to see once we have the issues created and documented.
Technically, when we have streaming on the commits page, you could say like it's 80% ready to be shown. Like we are only missing commencer and file browser. File browser should be pretty simple to add. The discussions are the trickiest part. So if you skip all the discussions, basically that's mostly the same experience as you have right now in production.
Right. But I'm guessing you just answered my question because it feels like we can do both. Because if we have a group of people focusing on the file browser, the other people focus on the discussions, we can parallelize those two things, and they're going to be benefiting those.
We are reaching that point when we can severely parallelize all the efforts that we have. Because I think Pinia is the last stop. We have file viewers, diff viewers, which were really important to get right. And we already have them. So Pinia is the second one because we depend on a lot of stuff in Pinia. Once we get that done, it's
the Pinia is already in flight.
Features work.
Got it. Perfect. Well, this is good. This is good clarification, and I think that will definitely be good news. Cool. All right, gentlemen, anything else we want to talk about? Me neither. I don't have anything. Ooh, I just had an earthquake here on my desk. Good to see you. Thank you for the updates, and thanks for watching, everybody. Those watching the recording.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.